AES has never been mathematically broken. RSA protects banks and credit cards. So why do we bother with trying to break them? Because they are not attacking the math, they're just attacking reality itself. This is fault injection. By introducing tiny faults lasting billionths of a second, we can convince perfectly secure hardware to make mistakes. Over this series, we're going to build our own open-source, low-cost fault injection lab from scratch. Most cybersecurity focuses on software, passwords, encryption, authentication, and memory safety. Every security guarantee you've ever heard of depends on one assumption. The CPU never makes a mistake. If we perturb the system in some physical way, what happens? This is the question an entire field of research has been asking for decades. Fault injection deliberately causes a processor to make mistakes by manipulating the physical environment. For example, voltage glitch, EM pulses, temperature, and many others. The software hasn't changed. The hardware simply executes something incorrectly. Sometimes, a single skipped instruction may be enough. These attacks are not just theoretical. Billions of smart cards have been deployed and are everywhere, from payment systems to government IDs to SIMs. Researchers have discovered that carefully timed glitches could bypass security checks without ever touching the encryption. Modern cars have dozens of processors, secure boot, firmware updates, immobilizers, all use trusted cryptographic mechanisms for verification. But what if verification never finishes or is skipped entirely? Phones, your toaster, routers, medical devices, and even industrial controllers. Hardware security is not just about protecting secrets, it's about protecting decisions. In 2012, Barenghi and colleagues published one of the defining surveys on these attacks. They unified years of research showing that AES, RSA, and ECC could become vulnerable once faults were introduced. While the mathematics of these algorithms remained sound, their implementations often failed. As researchers learned more, they moved from proving that fault attacks worked to making them practical and reliable. In 2016, researchers demonstrated that carefully controlled voltage disturbances could reliably influence processor execution. This work highlighted the engineering challenges of timing, repeatability, and characterization. Instead of random glitches in trial and error, fault injection became an engineering science. More recently, Colin O'Flynn's Pico EMP project dramatically lowered the barrier to entry, demonstrating attacks on AES hardware and a RISC-V soft processor. Instead of requiring thousands of dollars of equipment and a lab, researchers could build an open-source fault injector using relatively inexpensive parts. This shift is exactly what inspired this series. Find weakness, attack, fix weakness, retest, publish, and repeat. Each successful attack teaches engineers how to design stronger hardware. Over the next several videos, we will be exploring this exact area. By the end of this series, we won't just have a gadget. We will have the start of a real security research lab. Hardware security isn't just software running on a chip. It is software, hardware, electricity, physics, timing, and engineering. And sometimes, all it takes is a few nanoseconds to change everything. I have spent years working in embedded systems, but I've always wanted to understand how researchers actually evaluate secure hardware. Instead of just reading papers, I decided to build the tools myself and document the entire process. Next time, we're building our first voltage fault injector.